Hopefully it's not your neck. I don't know.
Do you know what geological politics is? Do you know a man with the channel by the name of Predictive History, and his name is Professor Zhang? Professor Zhang is a professor who discusses in detail geological politics and many other things. Now, one thing I want to tell you is if you don't know what geological politics is, then you'll find this interesting. But before we get into the topic, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. It's completely free. And if you have friends and family, make sure to share it to them so they can learn about this as well. So, geological politics. Geological politics is very simply put, it refers to the study of how geological processes, resources, and knowledge intersect with political systems and governance. So one example that I'll give you, and this has a lot to do with geography and culture. Have you ever heard of Norse mythology with the Vikings? Norse mythology with the Vikings, I love to go into because a lot of people don't put this together. Now, this isn't verified by scholars. This is just my own original thought from me to you. Have you ever heard of, in Norse mythology, this realm called Helheim? If you haven't heard of it, Helheim in Norse mythology is the Vikings' hell. Valhalla is specifically their heaven, where if you die in war valiantly and honorably, you get to eat at dinner with Odin, you get to eat at a big feast with Thor and all the other gods in the Norse mythology hierarchy. But here's the thing, Helheim is very specific. Helheim is their hell. And if you notice, Helheim is a place of cold shadowiness that is frozen. It's completely cold. It's a frozen realm that's dark and it's empty. So I want to ask you something. Why would they make their hell cold? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because of their geography location. They were located in a very, very cold environment. And like I said, you can look this up. This won't pop up. I put it into Google. Google said that this isn't verified, which I already knew it wasn't verified because that's just my own thought process. Like when I see that specifically Vikings make a realm of hell that's cold, I automatically think, oh yeah, there's absolutely no way that they just made it cold for no reason. Like they just brought that up out of their ass. No, I believe that the Vikings made hell cold was because they lived in harsh, cold lands that experienced long, harsh winters, and they associated cold weather with being bad. Now, you can also say they associated extreme heat with being bad as well, but you can see that a nation that lives in Scandinavia and in Northern Europe, that they would long for summer and that they would long for the warmth to come by, because in those times they were living in huts. You know, they didn't have brick houses like we have now that completely shield you from the environment. You know, these environments cut through any material that they were living in. Like I said, this isn't verified. This is just my original thought to you. This is what I believe they had thought of. Now, when I put it into Google, Google said that this is a plausible explanation. It's a possible explanation, but it's just not an explanation that scholars have verified in things that are written in Viking text. But, you know, it's just very, very strange to me that people that endure extreme cold would put extreme cold in their literature, and specifically for their hell, which is Helheim. And I want to play you a clip from Professor Zhang, because he, while not talking about Viking mythology, he talks about how eschatology is downgraded into politics and geopolitical situations and cultures. Like when you look at ancient Israel, you look at ancient Egypt, of the Levant area, all these regions, their geopolitics specifically coincided with their religious eschatologies. So I want to play you a clip by Professor Zhang. Here it is.
If you just analyze the geopolitical framework, you can actually come to the same conclusions. If you look at the imperial decline framework, you can also come to the same conclusions. Okay, this is really, really strange in that you have these three divergent explanations for what's going on, but in many ways, they're very, very similar. In fact, they lead to the same conclusions. So what I want to discuss today is, why is this the case? Why is it that eschatology and geopolitics and imperial decline all end up giving the same understanding of the world and forces us to make certain predictions about the world? Okay? So, my explanation to you is this. Eschatology is really just an understanding of geopolitics, framed allegorically. Okay? So when we're saying this is that what eschatology really is, it's not religion. What it is it takes thousands of years of human history, tens of thousands of years of human history, and condenses it into stories that then can be told to children and passed on through generations and generations. Okay? So it is impossible for humans to pass on complex history over thousands of years. But it is easy to take this history, frame it into stories, and then tell it to your children, remember it, and then these children will then pass it on to their children. And then this is how we develop eschatology. Okay?
So there you have it. That's going to be all for this video. I think he said it better than I could ever explain it to you. So there you have it. That's going to be all. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps me immensely. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button and the bell icon. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And last but not least, hit the share button if you have friends or family. Again, it's completely free. And, you know, this video will be pushed out to them so they can understand geopolitical politics a little bit more and how your geography and your region and your location influence religious beliefs. You know, you ever wonder why Vikings put a lot of cold shit in their mythology? Ever wonder why? Anyway, that's going to be it. Hit subscribe, the like button, and the share button if you have friends and family. We out this shit. Peace.